It's either that song's gonna be stuck in my head or Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
Yeah.
I like the Simlish version because you don't have to learn the words.
Well, my kids were obsessed with a Minecraft version of that song. Don't mine at night. And like, so that I got like all these versions of that song in my head.
It's really unfortunate.
I don't want any of them. I don't want even the regular one in my head.
Nah, if you were like, we're going to purge, we're going to give you a lobotomy. And the big thing you're going to lose is Katy Perry's entire library.
Like, okay, I know a bunch of songs
like Spike
that
It, Doc.
I don't want in my head, but certain ones. I don't want all of them. Can I select specific songs? Oh,
just jam that Spike in there. It'll get something.
Dude, no, even worse. For I'm not kidding, 3 days I have had a Doja Cat song stuck in my head.
Is that your kid's fault too?
No, I don't even know how I've ever heard this song. I don't even really know the words. I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead. Dude, and it has been in my brain. I'm gonna send it to you. It's gonna get stuck in your head.
I'm not gonna listen to it.
You have to listen to it. That's a rule. If I send you a song, you have to listen to it.
That is not a rule. I think you remember.
Yes, listen. I listen to the songs you send me.
So I send you good songs. I send you bangers.
A lot of times I don't like them. A lot of times I don't like them.
Yeah, because you're terrible taste.
But I listen to them. So you're gonna listen to.
Can't all be Katy Perry and Doja Cat or whatever the fuck this is. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
You got intro news, kudos. You got your kudos. Oh man, you just discovered gummy clusters. Nice.
Well, no, but I just started getting obsessed with them. Like, yeah, well, in a crazy way.
Welcome to the candy subreddit. Ooh, they won't shut up about them. All right, we'll do the IRL. Do you have the IRL clip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready to go?
Oh, and then the Concord theme. Yeah, that actually slaps. All the music.
I didn't record it. I didn't record it before him, but I'll put it after.
It's fine. Okay. Are you ready? On this week's SOD, Nintendo's finally suing the team behind Pokemon with Guns game, Pal World. Amazon is making a movie of The Sims, and God of War Ragnarok is getting review bombed on Steam. Later, we get a really political in our IRL segment. You've just logged into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
And this is Peterson.
And it's time for politics. You guys ready? Every podcast is politics.
Keep your politics out of my video games.
Put your politics in my pants.
What? Oh,
no,
I don't.
Kidding. I'm not a woman.
Know if people say that.
Okay.
But you put them there. I honestly put anything in my pants at this point. I don't care. Just try
They're baggy.
it. Just try it.
I'm wearing Jinkos. Get whatever you want in there.
They're back in, and newsflash, I hate it. I hate it more than anything.
I saw a kid wearing them unironically at the market today.
One of my son's best friends wears them all the time, and I make fun of it every single time.
Are they black?
No, they're just jeans.
Just jeans.
Jean color.
See, if you're not going black, like...
No, don't go any color of Jinkos. Sorry if you were that guy, but I didn't even think it was cool back when it was supposedly cool, so...
No, you got a Jinkos.
Don't do it.
You got to wear your Jinkos.
Nope, don't do it.
Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. All right, our news this week is brought to us by Crave Cookies. Crave Cookies, this cookie shop. Why don't you just go to cravecookies.com and see for yourself? They are located in Utah and a lot of other places scattered through the U.S., so you can check out on their website if there's a location near you. They also do delivery and have like a cool app, which you can use to track your cookie coins and see when you've got a free cookie due.
With cookie coins? I should probably be using that.
You should probably be part of it. You go to Crave a decent amount.
Yeah,
and you get it pretty quickly. Like you'd probably get a free box
every time I go.
Yeah, you'd get a free cookie every like 2 visits. All right. So the cool thing about Crave is they have a new menu every week, and they launch that menu on Fridays. But we tell you
The cool
3
thing
days
about
early.
us
Yeah.
is we tell you beforehand.
So
So
if you are Crave Cookies fanatics, which is probably like 50% of our podcast that listens to the first 5 minutes and then turns it off, we're going to tell you what's coming up next week. Next week is the first week of the month for the new monthly cookie, the Carmelita. The Carmelita that has oatmeal in it and semi-sweet chips. So everyone that's like, oh, why don't you have an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie? Well, we do. And it has caramel chips in it too. And a little bit of caramel on top. This is honestly my favorite oatmeal cookie I think I've ever had. Also the Parent Trap, which is the Oreo and peanut butter combo. The Brookie Way, which I think is why we have 600 bags of Milky Ways in the
that's
back.
going to be it. Yeah.
I think it's just a Brookie, which is the brownie cookie, with a Milky Way in the middle of it.
Honestly, I'm in for all of the Brookie iterations because I love that. I love the Brookie. I really do. So
Crazy. We also have the iced oatmeal. So that's going to be 2 oatmeal
yeah.
cookies
I
next
like
week.
that. I like
So you guys are going to be really regular. And the chocolate cupcake, which is the cold cookie, which I think is just like a chocolate
Hostess cupcake.
No.
Or no, it's got sprinkles on it.
Yeah, it's like a chocolate sugar
Yeah.
cookie with like a sprinkly frosting.
It's got like a chocolate frosting and then the sprinkles on top.
Yeah, I'll
right?
tell you that chocolate frosting is impossible to pipe. So if you guys get that cookie and it looks great, someone in the back has carpal tunnel.
Show some appreciation for the.
So drop $1 or $2 in the tip jar because we're breaking our knuckles over that frosting. It's way too damn hard to pipe. I mean, it's delicious to eat. Okay, so go to cravecookies.com and get your cookie on. According to someone who worked on PlayStation's latest flop, Concord, the game's development could have cost as much as $400 million.
Oh gosh,
womp, womp, womp,
400 million.
Now I have to apologize because I feel like I try to do my due diligence when we report on this podcast, but I totally missed a huge part of this story. This is like what, the 3rd week that Concord is leading our news segment.
Mm-hmm.
Concord, I didn't realize because we talked about how it's been under development for like 8 years, and the studio is underneath Sony's like PlayStation or Sony Interactive arm or whatever. Well, what I failed to mention is that Firewalk Studios, the guys that are making Concord, they weren't actually part of Sony until April of 2023 when they were acquired. Now, I do think Sony was a publishing partner, which meant they were probably pumping money into this studio to publish this game because it was, it's a PlayStation exclusive. So, or I guess it's not. No, never mind. So why? I don't know why they were doing that. But then they finally just fully acquired them in April of last year. So that not even that long. And at the time they acquired them, Firewalk Studios had already sunk $200 million into this game. And then in the time between April 2023 and now, somehow, God only knows how, Sony sunk another $200 million into this game. So 7 years was like half the budget, and then the last like 18 months was the rest of it, which we've seen. I mean, this is the Anthem model of game development, which we see all the fucking time. I feel like that's what AAA means. Not that, we spend a ton of money and like a half a decade or more working on making a game. It's that we spend a shit ton of money just throwing it at crunching developers for 18 months until we get like a crappy product out the door that we can then patch and try to fix over the course of the next 4 years while we bilk our existing user base for as much money as we possibly can. That's exactly the model that they went with on Concord, but they forgot to spend money on marketing, and it also was not free. It was $40. So no one wanted any part of this. It cost more than Marvel's Spider-Man 2 to make this fucking game. You know how big of a deal that game was? How much money that game made?
It made more than Concord, I'm pretty sure.
Just a tad.
Dude, everything I hear about this Concord game is it just seems like one bad decision after another. I can't understand. Why would they buy it last year? I don't
Dude, this is the
understand.
Phil Spencer move. This is the exact same thing. Is they're doing this type of shit. This is the Sony Interactive CEO, head of PlayStation Studios, Herman Holst. Apparently, this game was his baby. This is what he was all about. He was like, this is the future of PlayStation. This is the future of Sony. This game is going to have not only its impact within the gaming industry, but it's going to spread outward and into TV shows and movies. It's going to be part of the larger culture. And so the whole studio was just beset by this guy's like toxic positivity. You could not critique or criticize a single aspect of this game because it was, you know, your boss's little baby project, and it had to go right. And so like everyone just told him everything was going great. No one raised concerns, and there were problems when Sony came in and bought this game. They had nothing. Like they had no way to like onboard new players. They had no like nothing set up for like microtransactions, which is the whole reason they wanted to make the fucking game in the first place. They just had tons of missing things, and so Sony came in and apparently needed to spend 9 figures patching holes to get this thing out, and it's still just like a shell of a fucking game. I
don't. How could they put so much on this one game? I feel like nothing about it is interesting or even cool, all the way down to the name. The name of it is like garbage. It's not even a memorable name. Nothing about this game is memorable besides how poorly it did.
So apparently the game director has already stepped down. The game director for Concord. Game director Ryan Ellis. He was formerly a creative director on Destiny 2, where from what I understand, he was not. They were not a big fan of his work over in the Destiny community. So he did shitty and just failed his way upward, as these people do. But yeah, I guess he told the staff at Firewalk last week that he would be stepping down and be moving into a support role, whatever that means. He said
that means they just pay him still, but like he's not making decisions anymore.
Sounded like he was crying while he was delivering this news, and he admitted that the game that they delivered was less than he'd hoped for.
Anyway. I don't know. I don't even know how. Like, I don't understand. I mean, you're right. They were just throwing stuff at a wall to see what sticks, but like, this is not it. Stick. Anyone could have told you that. I don't get it. I'm so confused by this whole thing.
I think, dude, I really do think it was. If I have to blame any one person, I'd say Herman Holst, who sounds like he's Sony's version of Phil Spencer, which is just an idiot who thinks he's not an idiot.
You don't tell him no.
Who has a humongous amount of control over the money that's spent. And it sounds like compulsive fucking gambling between this guy and Phil Spencer.
Dude,
they're just gamblers, dude.
That's actually pretty true.
Neither of those seemed like a good bet, but when they just kept doubling down. All he did, he bought this, and he was already 9 figures in the hole. Fortnite? And he's like, we got to spend another $200 million just to get this out the door. And at no point, he had 18 months. This wasn't like something that like, I don't know. He just raced through it. You didn't need to do that anyway. So the future of Firewalk is, that's a stupid fucking name. Not great, because apparently it's one of the most expensive studios in the Sony Interactive Entertainment in their like purview, because I would guess it's located in Bellevue. So the employees need to be able to afford to live right in Bellevue, which is that not more expensive than Seattle?
It is very posh area. Yeah, it's like the posh part. You go there, and I would go there in the middle of the day when I lived there. We'd like have a day off, and I'd go there in the middle of the day, and it was just a bunch of Asian ladies whose husbands are like high developers of Microsoft. Just walking around with their babies downtown Bellevue in their stroller that was like $1,000 stroller. And these ladies were posh, and I was like, dude, this is the place, Bellevue. I shouldn't be seen here.
So yeah, 150 to 170 people in that neighborhood. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's one of the most expensive studios per head, and some of them have already left, which is something else. Some of these people are just like, yeah, I'm out. I already know. A lot of them are updating their CVs. It
Mhm.
sounds like that. I mean, I can't even imagine. I cannot even fathom the gloom in that building. You go in. I mean, they're going to go and
You know
work
what
now.
happens in this industry. You know what happens in this
Yeah.
industry, and the writing's on the wall.
There's no way Sony's like, hey, you guys just put out an absolute stinker, but we're going to take all 150 of you and put you on the next Horizon Zero Dawn game. It's not going to happen. They're just going
Try you guys ready to try something else? You guys ready? That's not what's gonna happen.
No, this is the point where the casino has taken the deed to your home, and you don't really have a choice. You have to walk.
And they get the two big guys to walk you out of the casino.
You're done. You're
They follow
fucking
you
done.
out the
You're cut
door. That
off.
happened to me one time, but yeah, they follow you
Yeah,
out and
just
they
once.
stand by the door with their arms closed and they're like arms folded and they're like, don't even think about it, guy. Don't even
You're
think
cut
about
off.
it.
So that's dude. What a flash in the pan of a story this was. Concord comes out of nowhere, shits all over itself, explodes in fiery doom, and everyone leaves, and it's just gonna be gone. It's just like it's just here for a Blursty. Like this was just
That's what I was gonna say. I
pure
was gonna
Blursty bait.
Peterson prediction. This is gonna be on the Blursties this year. So that's I don't know. That's just I feel it in my gut.
It's
You
like
know,
it's like someone comes out of nowhere in Hollywood, forms a production studio, and films and produces the most amazing film you've ever seen in your life, and then just wins all the Academy Awards and then just goes away forever.
Mhm.
And everyone just kind of scatters to the winds, and you're like, wow, that was just like a wild 6 months that
You'll
company just
forget
came
what
in.
this game is called by this point
Mhm.
next year.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Thanks for the Blursty bait, you guys. Nintendo has finally gotten around to suing Palworld developer Pocket Pair. So now Pocket Pair has to figure out how to hire a lawyer. Like, hey, what is a lawyer? Hey, does someone in here know a lawyer? Pocket Pair, the studio, small indie studio in Japan of like what 40 people.
I think they hired their lawyer off of
Fiverr.
They just reached out to their Discord and they were like, "Hey,
Anybody a lawyer here?
and there was one kid who's like, "I'm thinking about going to law school. I'm doing a political science degree, but I think I want to go to law school." They're like, "Come on
You
over.
just put the hand
You're
emoji on this
head
post,
lawyer now."
and we'll interview you from there. This was September 18th that Nintendo filed this lawsuit that quote seeks an injunction against infringement and compensation for damages on the grounds that Palworld, a game developed and released by the defendant, infringes multiple patent rights. Pocket Pair responded, quote, at this moment, we are unaware of the specific patents we are accused of infringing upon, and we have not been notified of such details. So this is just a notification. I'm sure a ton more will come out as Nintendo outlines specifically what they believe, what parts of
Pocket Pair's like, "What?
like,
What are you?
hey,
I don't.
it's talking. This is
What
the
are
most
you
curious
talking
thing ever.
about?
What
We
is
just
Pokemon? I had to
This was
Google that.
straight off the dome. Like I didn't.
I
This is
didn't just put
crazy.
a machine gun in Pikachu's hands. It's called something totally different.
We're not. I don't know what they're coming for. I don't get it. I don't
That's
get it.
weird.
But we'll answer as the. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm just curious to see how this works out because if I don't know necessarily if this. I think this is under U.S. patent law, not Japanese. I don't know what it is. We'll find out later.
This is
As
going to be
more of this, as
interesting.
the text of the lawsuit is actually released. I'm curious to know. I feel like Nintendo doesn't fuck around on this stuff, and I don't think they would file this lawsuit if they didn't think they'd win. So play Palworld while you can, because it might not exist in like 6 months.
They're part of the lawsuit. They're gonna be like, look, just admit you ripped off some stuff, and then give us Palworld.
Nintendo will just
all the
ruin
pals.
it. Just ruin it.
We want those pals to be our pals, and
They're
we
gonna
will
be
call them
Pokemon
Pokemon now. Yeah,
Pokemon World.
I'd be
I
okay
play
with
that. I'll still fucking play it.
We're both like, yeah. I don't know, whatever. This is fine.
Like, yeah, whatever. Just let the corpos do it. It's fine.
That's I don't like that.
God of War Ragnarok is getting review bombed just like Helldivers 2 after requiring a PlayStation Network account to play the game on Steam.
Stop, PlayStation. What? Stop. Why do
in
you
their
keep doing this?
So there is this is one of the games, the PlayStation exclusives that has been released on PC, which is kind of Sony's desperate new attempt to make money with their IPs. And it's kind of working, but in a way it's also kind of not, because they have required a PlayStation Network account to play this game. In their defense, unlike with Helldivers, where they snuck it on the players after like 2 months of the game being out, there's a huge notice on the front of this game's Steam page that says like,
Yep.
you have to have a PSN account. So there's like, you kind of be a dummy if you didn't see this coming. But at the same time, this is a big issue for a lot of non-US gamers. This is not an issue I don't think anyone in the US will have, unless you're just particularly I don't know, you just have an issue with PlayStation.
It's just annoying to make a account. Like, I have to do this
if
all
you
the
don't
time,
have
right?
one.
Like,
Yeah, it's kind of
I'm
annoying.
on Game Pass, and like a lot of the games on there, I have to have a Ubisoft account, or I have to have an Activision account, or whatever. It's annoying. I don't like it.
But
So
here in the US, that's all you're gonna have to do is just.
Yep.
But outside the US, there are straight up 100 countries that, due to the PlayStation Network requirement, you can't play this game. Just straight up. And they're countries where on Steam you can play every other game on Steam, just not this one.
not this one.
Also in the UK, this is one that I saw was pretty funny. You have to submit a mobile phone number for age verification, and if something goes wrong during that, like you don't get the text or you can't figure it out, or it goes to the wrong number, you enter your number wrong, you then have to submit a photograph of a government ID to Sony. Which
This
Sony,
for God of War, like
is
this.
notorious for fucking data leaks. Like all they do is like make shitty games and data leaks.
They put their interns over their security system.
Spider-Man, that's what they do. Spider-Man and data leaks. That's what Sony is now. So a lot of
like, how
people,
can we make money off these data leaks? We got to figure out how to make money off this.
a lot of these people outside of the US have expressed their discontent. 60. So currently on Steam with 3,900 reviews, 69% of them are positive, with the other 31% being negative, or I guess it's positive or negative, which for a game like God of War Ragnarok, which was one of the most critically acclaimed games of the last couple of years, like across the board, not just critics, but everyone loved this game. This game was phenomenally received. To have it at 70% positive and it's listed as mixed on Steam is crazy. And unlike Helldivers 2, this is not going to be reversed. It just won't. And so
it's
Helldivers
not the
2,
same. It's not the same community.
It's not the same
Helldivers
rabid
had
community.
a community.
Yeah. In fact, did you see the I'm sure you're aware, the cape in Helldivers? There's a famous chart or graph of Steam reviews, and there's like, it's just like positive, negative, and then there's this very long red line that drops down in the negatives at the point that they released this PlayStation requirement. And they have now, for the community that I guess has helped them recover that, they have a cape that has that like line portrayed on it.
Oh my gosh.
The Steam chart. So that's like the fun, quirky thing they can do because they have the community to do it. But this game, a couple-year-old single-player game that, it's pretty niche of who didn't play it already on PlayStation that wants to play it on PC, they don't care. They're like, just get the fucking PlayStation account. Fuck you. Just do it. I just don't understand why. Is it just data collection?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah, Sony just needs your email and they will do literally anything for it, because that is, I guess, going to help make up the $400 million loss from Concord. What went wrong with Annapurna? Unsurprisingly, bad management and a billionaire is to blame. It's a follow-up to last week's report on Annapurna Interactive's entire team just up and walking. 25 people. This is a publisher of a lot of indie games that you're probably familiar with: Stray, Outer Wilds, What Remains of Edith Finch, Cocoon. They are just gone. And all the developers that are relying on them to publish their game are like,
What do we do now?
So we don't know a ton about this. This is an IGN report that kind of fills in a decent amount of the gaps, and so it was kind of helpful. But long story short, Annapurna was founded. It was originally, and it still is, I guess ostensibly, a film and TV production house. And it was billionaire Larry Ellison who founded Oracle. His daughter, Megan Ellison, who founded this. She worked as like a boom operator when she was like young, like 19 or something.
They're like, yeah, my daughter needs a job. And they were like, oh,
yeah, exactly.
Gosh.
And then immediately she's qualified to head her own movie productions because it's fucking Hollywood, right? Like, no nothings. And really rich people just get to choose, what how the. So she just trust funded her way into Hollywood, makes a few okay films. She made Her. I guess people liked that. I don't know, it looked creepy. And then she makes a few shitty films, and because of that, she's gone. 2019, she just disappears. She runs to her dad's private island. He literally owns one of the islands in Hawaii, just one of those. He just owns the whole fucking island. So she's like, boo-hoo, people didn't like my trust fundy movies. I'm going to go just like hole up in Hawaii for years. And this studio, and like during the fucking pandemic, and this studio, which also has a video game arm, is just like, what the fuck do we do? In the meantime, Nathan Gary, who was over, I think, the video game side of things, he kind of just stepped in and took over, and there were a few moves over the years, and he ended up, I think, taking over, essentially running the whole kit and caboodle. But he shifted a lot of their focus and a lot of the executives' focus over to video games because that's what he wanted to do, and that's what he was doing, and it was kind of his company, I guess. And that's the time period when they were releasing all those games I talked about: Stray, Outer Wilds, Edith Finch. All those games came out during this period. So she comes back. Oh, and by the way, from what I saw, while she was in the studio, unsurprisingly, that the bratty daughter of a billionaire was a bratty manager of this company that he handed her and had to keep pumping money into, by the way, because he kept doing so shitty. She just treated everyone like shit. She would just like, if she was mad at you, she'd just move your desk to another building.
Ooh.
She wouldn't even like say anything. She'd just do it. She'd just have like, I guess like the facilities.
Yeah.
People just move your desk.
Move your stuff. Yeah.
You just like bitch at people in meetings. And one of these, there was this executive, this guy, there's a pretty storied career in Hollywood, that she said, "Get the fuck out of my building." Do you think when you're a billionaire and you say "my building" in reference to a giant commercial building, it just sends like a tingle down your spine? Or do you think it's like the only time you feel remotely human? You're like, this is what it's like to be alive for a second.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, she knows my name type of thing.
Fuck out of my building. Anyway, so yeah, she sucked. And then she comes back after her like 2-year hiatus on Daddy Island, which I still struggle to wrap my head around. But that's fine. Whatever. Losers. How are so many billionaires just fucking straight up losers? Anyway, so she's kind of hands off in 2021, whatever. And then over like the last year, it sounds like Nathan Gary was trying to negotiate, the direction of the Annapurna Interactive, and she didn't like that, so she canned him. And then everyone rebelled, and she's like, "Oh, just kidding." Brought him back like the next day, and then she's like, "We're all negotiating, it's fine." And then the negotiations went tits up, from what I can understand, and Nathan Gary walked, and everyone else just walked and resigned. Just like a vote of no confidence, basically, in her management, which it sounds like, and it's like you were saying last week, like this needs to happen more. People are just like, I'm just fucking done. And it sounded like she was the reason they were done. It was just an easy decision to make, because when you're fighting really hard to make your workplace better, and then you find out, and then you realize at some point in that fight, you're fighting against the person that should be on your side. And they should want to make the workplace better, and they should want to make the business better. And you're like, oh my God, why are you fighting me so hard on this? I'm fucking done. Like, I'm fighting to make you more money, you crazy ass. And you're like, no, I'm gonna. Why am I doing that? I'm gonna go make me more money. And
Let's go somewhere else and do this. I'll take my talents elsewhere.
It sounded like IGN looked into it, and none of these people are looking for jobs. So it sounds like pretty certain these 25 people plus Nathan Gary are all planning on staying together and creating something. They didn't have something lined up because this sounded like it just kind of happened. But it also seems like the volatility of like a silver spoon laden billionaire's heiress. It's pretty easy to just like walk from that. Because I'm like, I don't know, why would I want to work for someone like that? I'd rather work for Randy Pitchford. At least he's been with the company. At least I think he plays video games.
At least
he's fucking here.
He started in video games. He accidentally became successful.
Yeah.
Whereas this lady was born successful, it sounds like.
Yeah, she was born on
successful. Yeah. I'm doing quotes here on successful. It's not, yeah.
Yeah, and I just usually like forget it. I'm so tired of billionaires.
No, they're doing great things for the country, I promise.
The whole planet. They're just so good for it.
Yeah,
buy more islands, guys.
Can I go there? No, can't.
With Concord on life support, Sony takes the safe bet and decides to just remaster Horizon Zero Dawn. It's just like a money button you press at work where you're like, just remaster the last successful game we had.
It's not even that old.
Why you don't need a remaster? Let's remaster it. Let's remaster the Last of Us remaster. This is like Skyrim all over again.
It's like when they remaster a game before it comes out. I think that's happened before. They're like, we just remastered it. And you're like,
that's what they're gonna do. Late term remasters. So the ESRB, this actually is pretty funny because the ESRB leaked this, and they published a page for a game called Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. They pulled it down, obviously, since then. I don't know. This is I feel like it plays into what we were talking about last week with the PS5 Pro. You got to put something on the PS5 Pro. You don't have any good games. You don't have Concord. You can't make Concord look really sweet on that because no one's going to be playing it. So what's the only game that people
remember that game you liked 6 years ago?
You like it now.
Dude, it's going to be even cooler looking now.
And it can be yours.
You didn't change anything else.
For $700 plus $100 for the disc drive and $25 for the vertical stand. It could be yours. For a low price of $1,000, you could play the same game you played 6 years ago.
But it's going to look a little better. Like
slightly better.
It has ray tracing now.
The Sims movie is officially happening. This is for Abby sent us this on Discord.
The Sims movie?
Yeah.
Like, okay. I did think of like there are in the Avengers Endgame when Doctor Strange looks at Iron Man and holds up the one finger, meaning he looked at all of the potential futures and there was only one where they win. I think that's where we're at. I think
the only one that has
there's only
movie.
I was trying to think, how does this movie be okay? And I could only think of like one.
We're living in the one future.
It's not going to happen.
Like, in all the other multiverses where the Sims movie didn't happen and it's not made, all the people you talk to are like, wait, Donald Trump, the guy from The Apprentice, he was president? You're like, oh, dude, don't even get me fucking started.
You're like, that didn't happen over your guys' place? And they're like, no, man, things are going
and I'm normal. Like, is Harambe alive? They're like, yeah, the gorilla, he's famous.
Yeah, he's actually president now in a few of those.
He's got a TikTok account. Yeah, it's one of the most popular ones. I'm like, yeah, see, here's what happened. Is we just kept hitting the bad luck button until we got the Sims movie.
I honestly, Peterson prediction, another one. This movie is going to be so ridiculous and stupid. So, there is one, I think, scenario where this movie could be okay, palatable. Otherwise, I think this is horrible.
Yeah, it's the scenario where a foreign nation drops a stupidifying nerve gas, just blankets the whole country in it. And we're all just drooling idiots. And then the Sims movie comes on and we're like, that is a cinematic masterpiece.
Honestly, they kind of already made what I think the only way this could be good, and that was in what was the guy where Ryan Reynolds was the
Free
guy?
Guy.
Free Guy. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
what-
It has to be that or that movie, almost exactly.
So this is coming out of Amazon MGM Studios. It's produced by Margot Robbie. Anyway, her production company. And from sounds like talking to the EA president, because she talked to Variety about what they're planning for it. It's just going to be a meme movie for like Sims super fans. They're like, oh, there's going to be like a pool without like a ladder, and there's going to be like, Sims running around on fire. It's just going to be like all the Sims memes and lore that like super fans like.
I hope not all of it
crammed in there to the point that like it's barely a movie and it's more just like 85 minutes of memes. That was like every single thing. The EA president had so many things to say, but that's what it all boiled down to, is like, we have so much respect for the fans and we love the product and stuff. And I'm like, dude, this is not going to be great. But hey, I think people would have said the exact same thing about the D&D movie, and we all liked that one. That one fucking slapped.
What I just want to know, like, what do you think Jack Black's going to play in the Sims movie?
All of the Sims. It's going to be like the Clumps with Eddie Murphy. It's just Jack Black playing all the Sims.
Oh, no.
Girl Sims, the boy Sims, the dog Sims,
no,
the vampire Sims, the ghost Sims, the naked Sims. It's all Jack Black.
It can't. No. If he's playing all the roles, then who is Kevin Hart going to play?
He's playing the Kevin Hart Sim. It's very controversial because he does blackface.
He's short and he just acts like Kevin Hart all the time.
Just acts like Kevin Hart, and it is extraordinarily offensive. This also brought up this story. I didn't realize that Katy Perry, for I think The Sims 3 or 4 or something, recorded one of her songs in Simlish, the language that Sims speak, the nonsense language. And it is the funniest fucking thing. And now I hope the whole movie is filmed not unlike Prey, that movie, the Predator movie they did, where they had the whole movie in English, and then the indigenous actors also did the whole movie in their native language. I think they're going to do the Sims movie that way, all of it in English, and then all of it again in Simlish, and I think it's going to sound a little like this.
But it's a Frobino. But it's a Frobino Perbidex. Wara Ufa Monaret. Yarmy Denzel Table Dukes. Ibi Duka Mimi Shoops. Keep it keeps he up for good.
I want to see the whole fucking movie like that. I will watch that movie. I will drop 10 tabs of acid and I will watch that fucking movie backwards. Sounds awesome.
Honestly, Jack Black and Kevin Hart can do that. I do feel like they're the right guy.
And then The Rock shows up and you're like, yeah.
Floopy Noops.
Floopy Noops.
Floopy Noops and Joopy Dops. And you're like, yeah, he does.
Yeah, I fucking love this movie. Why is this my favorite movie?
It's like, okay, I don't know if you've heard much about this, but Vin Diesel did Groot. I am Groot.
Yeah.
And he insisted on recording every single line, and he like took it
individually.
very seriously.
He didn't loop any of them.
None of them. He didn't. Like, anyone else would just go in and record like 200 I am Groots in different ways and be like,
and
just
they'd
use
bounce.
what you want. No, he had to go in and took it very seriously. That's what I want. Vin Diesel Groot level of commitment to Simlish. Yes.
It's going to be like a Tolkien-esque approach to the language. It's going to be fucking incredible. Games featuring paid loot boxes will soon receive a mandatory M rating in Australia.
There we go.
These are new Aussie guidelines that say, quote, in-game purchases with an element of chance. They must have a minimum classification of M, which is 15 years. That's what M
which
says.
Is, I mean, that's interesting.
16 is a good age to start
20
gambling.
years ago, nobody cares. Nobody looks at the ratings anymore.
So they're saying it's mystery items players that can use real money to buy without knowing what they'll receive, such as loot boxes. And this accounts for any games classified after today. the recording of this podcast, September 22nd. So Aussie game developers that are listening, sorry if you didn't get your loot box game classified
You
by
kept
today.
saying Ozzy, and I kept thinking Ozzy Osbourne in my head. I
Oh.
don't know why. Aussie game developers. I don't know why because I was like, what is he talking about? I'm so
Game
sorry.
developers that are just so fucked up, just so high. Last story here. A Japanese company has released a caffeinated instant ramen that can be sucked out of a tube for gamers.
This is a mistake.
You guys, we
Guys.
finally reached it. The end of all things. We're here now.
This is the worst timeline. You guys, can I find the multiverse and go to any other timeline?
We all get to bear witness to the end of the world.
I don't
And it
like
starts
this.
here with Boost Noodle E-Ramen.
I'm so uncomfortable by this.
Boost Noodle. There's a close-up shot
Ugh.
of it coming out the
I just
tube.
clicked on the picture.
It's kind of like if you've ever had like a protein shake. Now imagine if the protein shake had like a
Dude, I hate this so much.
like a colander tip, and you'd squeeze Play-Doh through it, and the Play-Doh was your caffeinated instant ramen. The next thing they need to find how to do is to hook this into a trough so I don't need to use my hands to squeeze it. Can I suck it? How hard is it to suck?
It gets a 4 for flavor. Okay. It gets a 0 for mouthfeel. I am very uncomfortable by this pouch of, it's like those pouches of applesauce that you give little kids,
Yes.
but with noodles in it. I'm so uncomfortable looking at this picture. And you know the noodles are not just going to come out like that in the picture. They're going to be all twirled up there and you're just going to be like forcing it through. They're going to get all even more squished.
Did you see the second picture? And then like it has like you click on it on Twitter and then it has like those 4 little smaller pictures at the bottom. The third picture over makes me extraordinarily uncomfortable.
I'm so
It's like they're squeezing it up.
I hate Boost Noodle.
I don't like Boost Noodle E-Ramen. I will not be buying this. However, if I do see it at the Asian specialty store that I spend far too much time at, I will buy it.
I'll buy it,
I'll do
and
the
I'm gonna
homework.
make JD eat it.
Dude, imagine
Trent will eat it. Trent will eat it.
You ever had too much caffeine and you just get like the shakes and like
Yes.
your stomach gets very uncomfortable and you're sweating a lot.
Yeah.
Now imagine getting that and not knowing if it's food poisoning from the noodles you just sucked out of a protein pack, or if it's the caffeine that they were laden with,
Or a little bit of both.
or you're getting food poisoning.
Food poisoning caffeine. This is
You're like, I'm gonna be so good at League of Legends now. I'm totally not shitting my pants in the PC bond. Like, no, I'm good.
I hate Boost Noodle.
Boost Noodle. That's the name of the episode. Boost
Yeah.
Noodle.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Kudos. Kudos. Kudos.
All right, kudos is our positivity segment. I beat you.
I know you did.
You're
We were both typing Boost Noodle into the so I didn't forget. And JD beat me. And his were all in caps. So I just erased mine and backed off. I just let him have this
you
one.
lost. I had extra time. I had time to hit the shift key. Kudos, our positivity segment. I have quick foodos. Actually, it might not be so quick. If you guys live in Salt Lake City, Utah, you're probably familiar with our probably most famous pizza place, The Pie. The Pie that's got its start on the campus of the University of Utah is a little basement pizza shop.
There's
Now,
one
a
up by
couple
me in
locations.
Ogden.
Yeah.
Which honestly is pretty cool because they always have like a live music guy playing there and like pretty cool place to go.
Yeah, they're fun. Like it feels like a neighborhood pizza shop, even though it's I guess technically a chain now. There's still not that many.
I think there's only 3 of them though.
Okay. Well, there's one right by me. So
Yeah.
I got very lucky. It's right by the In-N-Out too. I am so blessed that I have an In-N-Out and a pie and all sorts of other random things that are just like right at Trader Joe's. Like these are all so close to me. And this is kind of anyway. So the pie had a specialty pie that came across. Now I don't go to I should clarify. I do not go to the pie. I probably haven't gone to the pie in 3 years, if not more. And when I do go, I get one thing and one thing only, the cheese pull-aparts, which don't have sauce on them. And then I get like a dipping sauce because across the board, I feel like the pie's pizzas are too much. There's too many toppings. It's kind of a thick dough and they put a ton of cheese on it. And it is just so fucking greasy.
So it's a lot. It is a lot. Like you said, the pizza's thick and they are heavy handed with the toppings, which if you go to the pie to get pizza, you know what you're getting yourself into. It's like you don't go get Chicago deep dish pizza thinking like I just feel like
I'm gonna fold it.
Yeah, like you when you go to the pie, you have to be in the mood for this is not going to be a comfortable meal. It's going to be heavy and greasy.
And so that's not my type of pizza. My favorite kind of pizza is like a New York Brooklyn style pizza. Big, floppy. I can fold it in half. And honestly, topping's optional. Like I'm good with just cheese.
Cheese is almost always my like favorite.
And even the cheese pizza at the pie is too much.
It's like aggressive.
You take one bite and the whole cheese block falls, like slides off the top. It's just too much. But this pizza, for whatever reason, I just saw a picture of it or somebody mentioned it on one of my food emails that I get. And it's called the Heisenberg pie. It's their special for, I think, the month. And it's the Oktoberfest pie. And I saw the picture of it and I read the description of it. And like I said, not even a fan of the pie. I had to try this. So I will just read the description very briefly. Smoked brats and spicy link sausages, caramelized onions, sauerkraut, toasted caraway seeds, caramelized green apples, mozzarella cheddar, and a sweet Bavarian mustard sauce with fresh dill swirled on top.
So when you first sent this in the Discord, I was like, holy crap, smoked brats and spicy link sausages. Like, that's a lot for a pizza. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot for anything. That's a lot for any food.
Yeah.
And then it keeps going. Caramelized onions, sauerkraut, toasted caraway seeds. And I was like, okay, got it. Those are just like ancillary things. Like they need to be there for flavor. And then he ramps it back up with the green apples.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, so you're adding just like another. We're
throwing anything on there.
We're still going.
Yeah.
We're still going. Apples. Then they did the cheeses. And then they got sauce on top and then dill. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
So I just, dude, I don't have enough nice things to say about this pizza.
Oh, we lost JD for a second. 47, 40. He'll be back in a second. It usually lasts about 15 seconds. Oh, this one's going extra long. Please come back to us. Yes, dude. We don't know why it happens either. Patrick says the weekly JD loss. Genuinely do not know why it happens. Oh, he just had to back out. Hopefully his internet didn't drop. He'll be back in just a second. Hold for technical difficulties. I should have technical difficulty music, but I don't. So we're just gonna let you.
I hear you crying. AAA games dying. And I know that it's affecting you. 3-bit, listen what I got to say. Save your strength for another day. 'Cause I know what you got to do.
Get intermission music.
If you want to party till dawn, you gotta get your cookie on.
Silverthorn comes in.
And get your cookie on. And get your cookie on.
got the churro, baby, set your watch. They got that butterscotch, who's got your rookie? You got it on lock, party like rock stars. We'll never stop, every kind of flavor. Next week it's gonna drop, baby, I know you keep it goody goody, but I'm going to bed. I did it all for the cookie.
Birth reference.
Hailing in from the far north, it's DJ Silverthorne.
Yeah. Silverthorne dipping in with the ice cold feature. She'll get your cookie on, call me the cookie preacher.
That is
Better than
absolutely
sex, you
true.
can be my
That's
cookie
it.
teacher. Let respect you across the face. Self-care with the icing on top. New line of pepper fat and make a panties drop. Unleash it in the cookie monster. Get a new fix. Palate craving chill. Forget
I have one other song on queue. Katie said he's still waiting to get that in. So he's working
People need sugar and crave treating sick patients. They lining up new stores, sweeping the nation. Where you at? Cause we crushing
Start
this
technical
mission.
difficulty
Better
music.
strap in cause we're reaching ignition. Greedy, take what you can.
All right. So we're gonna jump back
Ready.
in where you were. You were
Yeah.
saying I don't have enough good things to say about this pizza.
Yeah.
And go.
I guess I should preface by saying I, despite my best efforts, do not like sauerkraut. I have tried my whole life because the thought of sauerkraut makes perfect sense to me. I love coleslaw. It's like one of my favorite foods.
Yeah.
So I'm like, sauerkraut seems like a natural thing. And every time I see it
Coleslaw.
on like a sandwich or whatever, I'm like, yeah, that sounds way dope. Every time I've ever eaten it, I've hated it.
Oh,
This
man,
pizza
that's
was
crazy.
so good. It made me come around on a food that I've been trying to love my whole
Oh,
life.
okay.
Sauerkraut. It is okay. So yes, it is a pie pizza. It is a fucking mess. Like it's so big, it's so greasy. And Peterson was laughing because he's like, "Yeah, it looks like a pizza. I can only eat 2 slices of." And that's exactly how many slices Jenna and I were both able to eat. And then we just sat back like we just finished a Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah.
Like this thing was beefy and greasy, and even after it came out of the air fryer, which usually crisps things up a bit, still just so greasy. So it's all those things, but like you said, eat the apples, dude. The apples actually come through. Like you actually get a taste every once in a while of that like sweet apple, plus the mustard. And I'm always an advocate of fruit and cheese. I think cheese should be mixed with fruit.
See,
more
I don't
often.
like that, but I do like the apple on this because this is like heavy.
You need it.
So you need that acid to kind of boop, peek its head through there a little bit.
Oh my gosh, it is so amazing. I've become a very big fan of sausage pizzas that use like sliced sausages instead of like crumbled.
Yeah.
Jenna made a homemade pizza the other week and we had a leftover sausage and
Like
I
sausage
suggested-
links that have been.
it was a link and I suggested she just uncase it and crumble it on there. And either she chose not to, or she just was like, no, I'm going to do it this way.
She was like, "Shut
And-
up, Jonathan."
It's like, don't take
don't
my
know
cooking
what I'm doing on
suggestions.
the
And
pizza.
she was right. It was so amazing. I love how those little circles all crisp up and they get like kind of plump and greasy. And that on top of and the mustard sauce, everything just comes together on this pizza just so perfectly.
Yeah.
I would eat this, and it tastes very like an Oktoberfest. Like you go to any restaurant that has an Oktoberfest menu, this tastes like that whole menu on a slice of pizza. And I don't know if you said there's let's see, where is the pie? The pie,
There's 6 locations actually. I
Okay,
looked.
did you
There's
see where
6.
they are?
No, I just counted them, and that took all my brain power. I was
Okay,
like,
that's
6. I got to
fair.
count to 6. That was
Let's see the locations. They have one in Salt Lake by the U,
Yep.
and that's the other. And
I've
then
been
the
to that
takeout
one.
which is by the U. So those are the same essentially. The pie Midvale, that's the one I went to. It's
I've
by
been to
me.
that one too.
It's also right by Crave Cookies, so you can get both of those.
Yes.
South Jordan,
Yeah, I've
South Salt Lake, which is on 33rd South and like 2nd East. I didn't know about that one. That's like Midtown. And then Ogden, like Peterson mentioned.
I've been to that one. Yeah.
So
And I've been to 3 of them.
that's crazy.
Connoisseur of the pie. I've only been to the pie like 4
Weird.
times, I think.
And you just go to one new location every time.
Every
Guys, if you're in Utah and you like pizza, even if you don't like German food, if you don't like sauerkraut, if you don't like the pie pizza, those are all things that I fit into. I loved this thing.
It sounds amazing to me. Like
It won me over.
It sounds like and like each slice sounds like a meal, and I think I'm in for that.
Mhm.
I would also probably look, I know everyone's got their weird food quirks. I would eat this with a fork, 100%. I would not pick this up.
You could eat it with a fork.
I don't like a lot of these, like actually the pie pizza, almost always I end up eating with a fork. It's just so thick and so much on it that I'm like,
You pick it up and all the toppings slide off.
this
which
is a
why
casserole.
I've always hated that. And I don't like pizzas
Yeah.
that do that. I'm like, construct your pizza better. But this one, the flavors are so good, I don't care. You construct it, you could throw it in a fucking bowl for all I care. Shake up the whole box and I'll just eat it by the fistful. This shit is amazing.
Awesome.
Heisenberg pie, the pie, get it.
Get
I
it.
like it. Get it. Peterson, do you have any
Okay,
kudos?
I've just got a quick one. It's not even a new thing for me, but like I've been really obsessed with it lately. And apparently this is not just a me thing, but I have been eating a weird amount of Nerds gummy clusters.
There's no amount that's too weird.
I just keep getting them and like like they have like bags, like big bags of them. And genuinely, I'm not kidding. It's very rare where a candy peaks into like becomes a new candy becomes a favorite candy. This is a top 5 candy for me. I can't stop
You've had it
eating
before,
them.
right?
So yeah. So I've had them before, but then my son got some and he's like, "Have you had these?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." Then I was eating them. And then for his birthday rolled around and I bought him a big bag because he loves them.
That's
So
the problem.
I was like eating those, and then my 2 younger just had their birthday party yesterday, and they each got just the medium-sized bag, and I've been eating those. I've just been picking, and like, here's the thing: a lot of that type of candy, especially Nerds, I get real burnt out on fast because they're so sweet. But something about those gummy clusters, I cannot. I love them. It's a real problem. They don't
funny
even have
thing-
like a ton of flavors. It's not even like
They actually do. They're just hard to find. Apparently, they got like 6 or 7 flavors out right
I
now.
only ever see the 2. I
Yeah,
only
the
ever see
berry and
2
the
flavors.
regular.
Yeah.
The funny thing about you mentioning this is that I'm on the candy subreddit, and
course
it's
you
like one of
are.
my favorites. And these have been the like topic of discussion for the last like 2 months
That's
because the entirety of the subreddit has taken to them like cigarettes. Like the way they talk about them is like, oh, I bought a small bag because then I wouldn't eat as much. But guess what? Here I am at the grocery store at 11 p.m. buying myself a big bag because I already finished the small bag and now I know better.
Oh my
Like
God.
people have legit problems with this candy because it is so fucking addictive.
They're good.
I think I like Nerds, but they're too much, to just eat a box of Nerds, just like crunching the shit out of them. But I also love a gummy candy. But then at the same time, I'm like, oh, that's too much. Having both of them, and I'm someone that likes shelling candy. Like I shell my Skittles, like I pull with my teeth. So these are just so perfect for like that oral fixation of just like kind of messing with the candy. So you can eat them one at a time, but you can just eat them forever. I'm so glad you're hooked on these. I have to avoid them. I don't buy them because I'll sit down and eat the whole bag. I don't fucking buy these.
They're crazy. Yeah. I
can't
have to like stop myself. It helps that they're not mine because they're like my kids. So I'm not gonna like eat the whole bag. Have you had those giant Nerds, those big fat Nerds?
Yeah.
Those are the
Giant
best
chewy
for
Nerds.
shelling.
Yeah, that's
can
the
just-
best. One of the best
You
shelling
just
candies
like
I've ever
click
had in
down
my
the
life.
middle and it's like,
Yep.
ding, it opens
And
up
you
like
can
an egg.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is one of the
Anyway,
best shelling candies. But yeah, no, Nerds just has cornered the market on. And it all started with the Nerds rope,
Yeah.
which were always delicious, but way too fucking expensive for what you got. And now they found a way to basically
They
make
just chop
Nerd
'em up. Beep,
ropes
beep, beep, beep. Yeah.
segments, and it's the best thing ever.
Yep.
Their gummy candy
nailed
game
it.
is just right on point. Yeah, if you guys have seen these and you haven't gotten them,
Just get 'em.
careful.
They're worth it. They're
It's
worth
like
it.
smoking your first cigarette, though.
Just try it.
Look out.
Make sure it's a Lucky Strike.
Forget the metaverse. We're going IRL.
IRL.
Unplug.
Plug into real life.
Plug into the real world.
IRL.
All right, so IRL is a segment where we discuss real world things and we put a video game twist on them, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this week we're getting political because that's
Listen,
all it is.
we'll
now.
apologize a little bit to our non-US listeners because this is just US politics. We don't have room in our brains for other country politics. Ours is so messy. This is all we got.
So this came to me because I was talking to Jenna.
We're gonna do it in a good way. We're not talking.
You guys are gonna love it.
It's gonna be fun. Don't worry.
Now, I was talking to Jenna about Biden dropping out of the presidential race and how much that amused me from the angle that I feel like for the last, 4 years, 3.5 years, Trump has been blowing all of his mana, all of his moves.
Oh, and a real Peterson.
Nonstop on Biden. He's like every fuck Joe Biden, every what is it?
Dude, all the Trumpers have been too. Like there's been FJB stickers all over my region.
Let's Go Brandon t-shirt and flag that's flying from every truck
in the region.
Everyone that's rolling coal. All of that mana. He spends all of it, and then out of nowhere, Biden just dies off screen. Like you're fighting this boss for 3.5 years. And you're doing everything. You're using all your moves nonstop, and you feel like you're winning too. This guy,
dude,
you're just beating the shit out.
Like they had a debate, and even the like Democrat side of
even the biggest diehard Biden,
they were like, yeah, he lost.
Oh fuck, man, nah, dude. Trump used all of his best moves at the same time. Biden was like shitting his pants, and then all of a sudden, Biden just drops. Trump doesn't get any XP. He doesn't get any loot from defeating Biden.
It was like an off-screen event that happened, and Biden.
He's like, you're using all your moves. And all of a sudden, it goes to a hard cut scene, and then the boss is just gone. And you're like, what the fuck? I used all my potions on that guy.
I don't have any more health potions.
Used every item, every health potion, everything I had, and he's just gone. And then all of a sudden, a new, stronger boss shows up, and he's like, what the fuck?
Like we've been talking about her a little bit, but not like
I
this.
didn't know I'd have to fight her now. And then she just does like the anime, like charges up and gets even bigger. And he's like, what the fuck? And then Biden comes back and he's like, oh yeah, I'm here to help her. I'm not actually dead.
You're still the president. And he's like, nah.
He flies around the battlefield and just like shits on Trump.
Yeah, he's like, I used to be scared of that guy. Like, what is he's just like lost, floating around.
And Trump wants to defeat him, but he can't because now Biden's flying. He's like,
not even part of it. He's not even part of it.
He's not even part of it, but he still does tons of debuffs.
He's like, when you're playing like Mortal Kombat, right? And there's like all those people in the background.
That's Biden, but he's debuffing him the whole time.
One of those, he's just like the guy in the background that's
throwing
like the
tomatoes.
And
you suck, Trump. Fuck you.
You're like, I want to get him, and you're like, you can't. That doesn't
He's
exist.
like, let me go debate him again. He's like, no, you can't.
Why?
He's just gone. He's out of the game.
We didn't. Yeah, so that's the video game version of U.S. politics at the moment. I got a couple others. So obviously, I got to go with my favorite / least favorite topic right now, Project 2025.
Perfect.
If you're unfamiliar, it is like some Republican or I'll say right-wing think tank came up with this Project 2025, where they have all these like, here's how we're going to get the country back type of thing. And it is honestly alarming. I'll say that. It's not great.
Really bad.
It's real bad.
Just check out the Wikipedia article for it.
Okay, so this thing exists, right? And everyone kind of knows it, and it's kind of like in the background, and like people are like, it's nothing. Like, this is stupid. This is nothing, right? Even Trump was like, I have nothing to do with this. I never even read it.
Terrible.
Yeah, I don't even know what this is. Like, these guys have nothing to do with me. And then a couple times he'll like drop little hints and like alluding to it, and you're like, well,
where'd you get that idea, bro?
You just said you never read it, and this is all of these video game bosses and NFTs. And look, most people just know it's a terrible idea, but there's this group that's just so stuck on them, and they're like, I don't know, these are the things. And they're like, we even had people coming out and they're saying NFTs are a terrible idea. We're not going to do that. We're never going to do that. And then coming in and being like, okay, we're just
All
gonna do
right,
like
just a couple
one.
NFTs.
GameStop, they're full in. They were just like, I think this is what's going to save our company is NFTs.
At least Ryan Cohen thinks that's what's going to.
And then Ubisoft is still on the NFT train. They're still like, got everyone else is like, this is look, NFTs bad idea. Like Project 25, like 2025. This is not a good idea. And they're like, I don't know though. Have you looked at NFTs? We could probably do something with this. That's what Project 2025 is. It is NFTs. It's a bad idea. Most people think so, but there's these few people, and then you got a few CEOs that are like, I don't know what NFTs.
Now we
are.
all had to deal with NFTs.
Wink, wink. Yeah.
I think okay. Here's another good one. I thought about Congress people who own stocks. Which, how is that legal? How is that even allowed?
So illegal.
It's the most insane fucking thing. These people that get the most insider knowledge of not only businesses but the general economy, the Fed, all of these things that they have access to.
The industry that
committees,
the industry that they can influence, they have stocks in.
Then they can hold stocks, and everyone's just like, that doesn't seem fair. But the Congress people are like, who cares if you think it's fair? We're the ones that write the rules. Yeah. You're like, is there anything we can do about it? They're like, yeah, there's stuff we can do about it, but we're not going to do about it because it's making us
like, yeah, there is something
rich.
You can do about it. Here, it's in this hand right here. And you're like, oh.
So this seemed like to me the video game version of would be like game developers playing regularly in normal multiplayer lobbies, but they're using all the special gear that they've rewarded to themselves. And then even if they don't win the match with all their cool upgraded abilities and loot, just straight up cheating if they don't win. They're like, fuck it, I'll just cheat then. And there's no responsibility because they're the ones that make the rules. They're the game developer. It's their game. You've agreed to play it. You paid to play it. And you're locked in. If they cheat and just want to beat your ass and take your money, what are you going to do about it? Stop playing? That's exactly what this reminds me of.
Yeah. Did you ever watch, in the video game episode of Community where they're playing against
Pierce?
Well, Pierce's brother or his half brother.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Gus
yes.
Fring. And he knows the game forward and back, and he's like jumping around godlike, doing all these things while they're trying to like they keep getting killed by the zombies. That's him. That's what you're talking about. He's just like got all these godlike items and powers, and like, how do you even doing this? And they don't even know how to like punch yet. And that's the video game version of them buying stocks. They're like, I'm in control, and we're playing against you.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
What
else you got?
Okay, I got a couple more. So first, Donald Trump is, if you watch the debate versus Kamala Harris, he would not stop talking about immigration. He could not stop. So everything was immigration, and you were like, okay, we got it. Like, we heard what you had to say, and they're like, we can't shut up about it. This is WB Games insisting, no matter what happens, insisting that they need to make a live service game. Hogwarts Legacy comes out, makes $1 billion, and they're like, that was a mistake. And they're like, no, but look at this. And like, yeah, but live service.
Look how much immigrants help our economy. Look how much relies on their labor.
Like, no, but look at this. And then
they're all gone.
And then WB Games releases immediately after a gigantic flop in the Suicide Squad, right? And it was a live service game, flops, and he doubles down. He's like, listen, we still need to do these live service games. This is where WB Games future is at. And everyone's like, okay, like, we heard you say that. Obviously, like, be done with it. But like, there's no backing behind this. And they're just like, no, this is what is ruining the country right now. Is these immigrants? There's immigrants who come in.
That's
and
all we're
everything.
talking about right now is live service games
Like,
and immigrants.
That is the real life version of Donald Trump. Never stopped talking about immigrants. is WB
Like, do
Games.
you want to talk about how gas and groceries are expensive? He's like, yeah. And let me tell you why immigrants.
Those
are to blame.
immigrants came in and they came in from the mental institutions, and you're like, what are you talking about?
And Hannibal Lecter was at the head of all the immigrants. And
Yeah,
and he was having a friend over for dinner.
that's not what we asked you. And he's
Fuck.
like, I know, but we can't stop talking about these immigrants.
So speaking of our friend Donald Trump, this was I think one of my favorites that I came up with, is that Trump, to me, if you zoom way the fuck out, like 30,000 feet in the air,
Mhm.
Trump is essentially just troll building during playing an RPG. That's what he's doing. He's like one of these YouTubers that just chooses all the wackiest fucking dialogue options, constantly does like the dumbest fucking things you can possibly do, because he's just trying to like entertain the audience that's watching him stream.
He's like the let's play it out guy.
yes.
Just like,
He's like
let's-
doing that.
let's see
It's
what
just
stupid
like-
stuff we could do.
Right. He says the wrong things. He's just like, but he's the main character of the game. So things just keep going his way. People keep tossing him jobs, tossing him work, coming up to him in pubs and saying, hey, you want to run for president? So he does this, he does the become president storyline in the RPG. And somehow, even though he's just doing the dumbest thing and choosing the dumbest speech option at every turn, he's just hitting those low percentage rolls. You know, in like Fallout, when it's like you can threaten somebody, but if you're not like holding a gun, or if you're not like a threatening character, it's like a 8% success chance.
Yeah.
That's what he did. He just hit that like 10% success chance roll every fucking time. And he's just like, wow, I'm fucking president now. That's weird. And they're like, do you think you should play like any better at this point, since you did so well at like you like fell ass backwards into succeeding at the become president storyline, and the next storyline, be president, he's like, no, I'm gonna play it the exact same way, man. I'm doing the same fucking thing for 4 years.
It's fine.
I'm trolling. I'm here to just troll the game because everyone thinks it's funny.
Even more, it's like when you like play like any of the Elder Scrolls games, right? Just pick one. And like at some point you're gonna be like, look at this small village. I'm gonna see if I can murder everyone in this village.
Yeah.
And like you just do like the worst thing possible.
Yeah, that's like what he did for like his
Yeah,
entire
and
political career.
And then you go ahead and you become like the head of the like pre-skilled or something. You know what I mean? It's
it
like,
doesn't make any fucking
it's
sense.
like, dude, that's the same guy that murdered like I can see the smoke of that village over there. It's right there. He did that, and they're like, you
Yeah.
are our benevolent leader.
That's how he locked in the evangelical vote. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like, it's like in the video game.
They
when
love
you
that
just-
shit.
You can do the worst thing possible just because you're testing it out, and then you jump back in and just like continue the storyline as the good
But
guy.
ultimately, yeah, the game is programmed for your success, which is
Yeah.
kind of what it's been. I don't know how. But he's doing it. He's just troll building this entire thing.
All right, we've done a couple Donald Trump ones. I've got a Kamala Harris one.
'Kay.
Kamala Harris. Okay, so what's funny about the whole Kamala Harris story is that she was vice president, and then Joe Biden, like you said, just kind of disappeared, and they were like, the DNC like didn't have time. Like this was a couple months ago. They didn't have time, and the election's like soon, in like a month and a half.
They're like, Joe Biden's not going to work. They're like, then who else is
What
going
we got? What do we got? And they're like, God, she's here. She's here right now.
Here.
Let's put her in there. Like people kind of like, well, let's put her in there. She didn't like run for the jobs like specifically the way you're supposed to do it, right? You know who else didn't do that and still got the job? I got two people. First, Doug Bowser, the head of Nintendo. Come on, they just put him in because he was like, he worked there for a little bit. Like he worked his way up, and then they were like,
His
we need a
name
new
is Doug
president. And they're
Bowser.
like, dude, his name's Doug Bowser. Like, we got to make him the president, right? And they're like, yeah. And they had a lot of qualified people, but Doug got the job. But also, our other guy? Who's our guy? Hiroki Totoki.
He does everyone's job.
Kamala Harris is the Hiroki Totoki. They were like, we got a position open, and there's a person here. There's this guy. Just put him in there.
He's
and that's like-
already there. He's already there.
He's already there. Just like put him in. Like we need somebody now. That's a Kamala Harris. She's Hiroki Totoki. They were just like, she's here. We need somebody. Let's do this. I think she could beat Trump. Let's put her in there. And she's the Hiroki Totoki of U.S. politics. She's just there now. She just ended up there. I don't even know if it was in her plan. It wasn't in her 5-year plan. She was like, "Oh, maybe, I don't know. I'll just be
The
vice
only-
president for 4 more years."
Yeah, if she was a real Hiroki Totoki, she would have appointed herself as her own vice president. She's like, I'm already doing a great job as vice president. I don't need a vice president. I am my vice president.
She may have tried, unconfirmed whether she it guaranteed Donald Trump did try, and they were like, "You can't do that."
No, you need someone else. Well, let's pick someone way fucking weirder. Now I'm sad I didn't do a JD Vance one. What
I
was
tried to think
thinking?
of a JD Vance one, and I was like, I can't. He's so easy. He's such an
He's
idiot.
such an easy target. You feel like you're punching down with JD Vance.
It's crazy.
He's just such a fuck up.
JD Vance is the guy who leaves his thumbnail or his thumb drive at
At medieval times.
And he's like, I don't know. Like that's what
It's
everybody
fine.
does.
That's just what I'm like.
Yeah.
I had one, the grifter class in politics. This is something that's emerged.
Mm.
I feel like it was a lot of things on the right wing, and then the left wing caught up, and now it's just everywhere. Everyone's
does it,
fucking
yeah.
grifting. Everyone. It's so bad. And for me, it's the same. It is kind of the same timeline. Scalpers. They don't contribute anything. They leech off the industry. They make everything just worse for everyone just to make it like a pittance, because most of these grifters are not making serious cash.
No, they're like
enough to,
coming out of this
like
with millions.
Yeah, a couple of the big grifters, just like a couple of the big scalpers that got in early and they know they have an established audience. They're making decent money, but everyone else is just like ruining everyone else's experience and the political discourse at large, just for like no money, just at the attempt at making money.
It's like an extra like dinner date type of money,
Which I think you could probably find people like this all over. It's like the hustle, the hustle economy or whatever. That's what this is born of. Is you got to have a hustle, and so you've got the political hustle, you got the video game hustle. It would be so cool if you could just get like a living wage from like a fucking job, so you didn't have to do this, and we didn't have like an entire class of people feeling the need to do this. But this is what we've got: grifters and scalpers. Fuck off.
And honestly, there's no way to get rid of them. Like they're here to stay at this point.
This is
like it would be such
in.
drastic actions to get rid of them that it's almost like too hard to do. And that's where we're at with both the grifter politicians and the scalpers. Like you could get them out of there. You theoretically could. It would be so much work and so hard. It's like, they're just gonna exist. We'll just live with it.
Just buy some more stocks. What else you got? You got any more?
Okay, I got one more.
Okay,
so this is just political scenario. So right now, in the world, we have two very horrible wars happening. High profile, just like high risk. There's wars going on. But do our politicians spend any time talking about that, especially right now?
We got to talk about immigrants.
They barely talk about it. We're talking immigrants, we're talking immigration, abortion, inflation. Those are the things that they bring up when really the most important things happening are like these two major wars that we have to stop. And
the oceans are boiling. They're like half acid, and we're talking about abortions.
And we're like, we're still doing this. We're still doing
that.
Like everything's falling apart. And this is okay. And this gets me in video games all the time. When you're playing a video game, and Fallout's a great example of this, Marvel Midnight Suns is a great example of this. You're playing a video game, and it is a world-ending story happening.
And you're just doing fetch quests.
And you're just doing side quests for
you're
so long.
Picking up a bag for some shopkeeper.
For so long. You will do this for, in the game, days, if not weeks. Everything is put on a hold.
This is you harvesting honey in Skyrim. Well, like, dragons are fucking flying overhead, burning things.
When I was playing Midnight Suns, okay, the world is literally like, and you do the story missions, and like a demon is taking over the world, and like hell is coming to Earth, and like people are getting murdered by demons, like cities are falling, and then you'll go and you'll get like a quest that's like, Miss Marvel needs help eradicating the local thugs, and you're like, that's the mission I'm doing. You can do one mission a day in the game. You're like, that's the mission I'm doing today. and you just like go do a random stupid mission that has nothing to do with the world literally ending. And the whole time they're like, it is imminent. Like this bad guy is coming and like the world's going to end. Like, what are we going to do? And then you're like, I don't know. I'm going to do 2 weeks worth of side quests while we just like, wait, we'll just go do
Like
something
a cop
else.
doing traffic stops in Manhattan on September 11th.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
what
like,
we're fucking doing right now.
dude, that is US politics. Like, we need to be laser focused on something to do with the world stage and like how horrible things are. And we're just like, can we tackle that abortion thing again? And we're like, I thought didn't we
No,
just
did
that
that
like the 60s or something
70
like that?
years ago.
Yeah, like we gotta wrap this up. And they're like, no, we don't. This is topic number 1.
And topic number 2, should women be voting? You guys had about
Like-
100 years of it, and we haven't liked the results so far.
Should women own land? That's the next thing.
Should women be able to open their own bank accounts? Me, as a man, no, I don't think so.
What if the woman is considered your property? Should we allow them to own a bank account then?
If you
And you're like-
impregnate her, is she technically your property now?
That's where we are. And meanwhile, there are thousands of people dying
Just
in
bombs. Just fuck. Dude, they were doing some ordnance testing, or they were like blowing up old bombs out in Tooele, and it was just shaking every house in the Salt Lake Valley. Just
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. And they were like 50 miles away. And there is like a gigantic country in Europe where that's just happening all the time, everywhere.
less than 50 miles away.
Yeah, and then their houses are actually exploding because it's not just test ordnance.
Yep.
And we're just over here arguing about abortions.
We're just doing side quests.
We're just
Doing
doing
side quests over here. Banging out these side quests and honestly
gotta
not
do the
even making
immigration
progress
thing.
on them. We are not making any progress.
No.
We're spending all of our time doing
You
fetch
keep getting
quests.
distracted by other side quests. You're like, wait, we're doing a JD Vance thing? Yeah, we're just making fun of JD Vance for like 2 weeks. Like, yeah, okay, that's what we'll do with politics. That's a good idea.
Yeah, we could do that. That sounds great.
This game is fucking awesome. So fun. Nothing
Dude,
ever
I can sink
happens.
so much time into this
US
game.
politics is like a Ubisoft game. Just so long, and no one's ever going to finish any part of it.
Until you just quit.
Yeah.
You work on it. This is our politicians just work on it until they retire and quit. They didn't do anything. Nothing happened. You're just like,
Nah, we just put a fucking portrait of him up at the Capitol, and we're like, yeah, good job. Whatever,
yeah, I
fucking-
guess I remember that guy.
Ah, cool. Name a conference room after him. Whatever. All right, that's all I got. Are you good?
Yeah.
You're welcome. Look at us. So political. I feel like you were
Yeah.
listening to NPR there.
It was exactly like NPR, and I think that's what our listeners want.
More of that. So yeah, hold up. We're doing our pledge drive next week. So you guys make sure to get in those donations.
Dice of Destiny.
All right, Dice of Destiny is this game we play to wrap up every episode. We roll a 6-sided dice to see who will be responsible for rolling the dice of Destiny itself. A 20-sided die with 20 different games genres we've assigned to it. Once that person finds their game genre, they get to roll a 6-sided dice to find out how much money they can spend. Then they find a game in that genre, in that price range. They pick it, play it, review it. Last week, I rolled a $40 platformer. As Peterson pointed out, I think I'm the only one that has ever gotten platformer on this podcast.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not sure I've played. I think I played one, but it was in a different category. But I never get platform, which I'm okay with. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I feel like I cut my teeth on these, so I play a lot of them. So I finally have an excuse, and thankfully it was on sale for like 60% off, to play Sonic Frontier. This has been on my wish list for like 2 years, ever since it came out, essentially. I've wanted to play it. I do appreciate a 3D Sonic game because I'm a freak. This was like that open world one where you could just run around like a giant space and just go super, super fast. And that was appealing to me. It got pretty decent reviews, like any Sonic game, right?
We
Pretty
panned it a
decent.
little bit, but
That
did
was
get
kind of like
decent
I think
reviews.
they updated or improved some of the
Yeah,
things.
we messed with it. Remember when they released that
Like
that trailer,
demo
and it was like,
trailer.
why is it empty? There's literally
Yeah.
nothing to do in the world, but it looks different now. It looks better now. I think.
Yeah, so I think it'll be fun. I'm a Sonic mark for sure. I'm just such a sucker for any Sonic game. But then again, I've learned my lesson being a lifelong Sonic mark to not to go full price on these games. So $20, it was on sale for like $21. Right, perfect for me.
Yeah, that's your
assume that-
sweet spot.
Yeah, I assume there's going to be some platforms. I don't know. I own like every
You don't
Sonic game
have
on
to
Steam.
have a platform to be a platformer.
I will jump in on at least one platform.
he's
satisfy
like,
the
he's like,
requirements.
there it is. Count it. I jumped on a
Done.
platform.
Done. I hope I'm just running, honestly, most of the
He
time.
did try to get Drill Core as
Almost.
because you are on a platform, but
I
think
appealed to the 3-bit board of appeals, and they laughed
Denied.
me out of the room.
denied.
Yeah, so fuck those guys. Anyway, so next
It's
week,
just
probably.
Me, JD, that was very offensive. It's just me.
I hate the board. What am I wish I could dissolve it. It's fucking awful.
I feel like you're saying that, but this feels like a personal attack.
Look,
that
dude,
you'd
I'm
like-
speaking about the body, the organizational body that is recognized as the board. I'm not making personal.
What about my
attacks.
body?
I just think
This
the
is-
board fucking sucks and it's a brainless idiot.
Wait, you just said it is a brainless idiot. You're
It's like the board's collective brain.
I don't. That's not what it sounded like. It sounded like a personal attack again.
All right, I'll have a review maybe next week for Sonic Frontier if I can ever stop playing Drill Core, which I probably can't.
If you will eventually, it'll get too hard.
I hope so. That's always how I like it. Too
You
hard.
can't
All
say
right,
that. You can't say you like it hard.
I like it too hard.
The
To play
board
us out.
does not appreciate that statement.
To play us out, we have the outro for outro music. We have the theme from Concord. That game, you'll never hear this music.
We're
That's why I was like-
playing this out. It's playing our episode out, but like we're also playing the game out. So
Like no one's ever going to hear this, which is too bad because I listened to like 5 or 6 songs from the game's album or whatever soundtrack. Great. The music in this game, at the very least, was awesome.
the sound designers were better than the actual character designers. So
Yeah, like the musician having this on his resume, not a ding at all. You should probably just send this out to people.
they're like,
Get
oh, you made this
tons of
stuff for
jobs.
Concord. He's like, just
He's
please
like, just
listen
listen to it. And they're like,
Just
fuck,
listen
this
to
is
it.
way good. Can I play Concord? He's like, about that.
Okay, so here's the thing. Please don't tie me to that, but like
But my
yeah.
music is fucking baller. So yeah, there's the theme from the game that no one will ever hear.
there's the only place you'll hear it.
All right. I'm JD, logging off.
This is Peterson going AFK.
Oh, and thanks to Abby and Patrick for hopping on,
Jump on.
and Guru Romani on Facebook for trying to sell us on his one call love solutions. Really
I
consider it.
almost did it, but
Dial 1 for love problems, 2 for business problems, and 3
on what? What am I dialing this on?
generally.
Just
He's here to
in
fix your problems generally.
Just dial it. I guess I'll push 1 and see what happens.
Oh God.
Button mashing 1 right
Fix
now.
me. Fix me, Guru.
All right, thanks, guys.